All right, so we're diving into how to talk to anyone. This book, it's packed with these techniques, right?
Yeah.
Techniques to help you communicate better, to kind of up your game in all aspects of life.
It's pretty cool how Lowndes lays it out, actually. She's like, look, the people who really shine, the somebodies, they're not always the most brilliant or talented, It's
Right.
more about how they connect with people.
Yeah, making people feel good. Like that opens doors for sure.
Exactly. And Lowndes, she doesn't just give vague advice.
Right.
She breaks it down, gives you tools, techniques, real actionable stuff. She calls them the secrets of smooth talking.
I like that, yeah.
Like, how do you become charismatic?
Yeah.
It's a skill, you can learn it.
She starts off strong.
Yeah.
Right in the intro, she hits you with this image. First impressions, they're like holograms.
Holograms, wow.
Yeah, like they capture this multi-dimensional image of you in someone's mind. It's a snapshot that sticks with them.
It's true. It's like we make these judgments super fast. It's human nature trying to figure out the world, Friend or foe, it's
Yeah.
like a survival instinct from way back.
From caveman days.
Yeah, exactly. And it affects everything. Job interviews, dates, everything.
It's almost like we're creating these caricatures of each other in our heads.
Uh-huh. Based on like the smallest things.
Someone says 80%, a full 80% of a first impression is nonverbal. Before you even speak a word, it's your body language.
Wow, 80%, that's huge.
So that's where she starts, right?
Yeah.
With these techniques to master your body language. The flooding smile, that's the first one.
Interesting.
It's not just about smiling, it's about the timing, the genuineness, the warmth behind it.
Okay.
There's this story about Missy. She took over her family's corrugated box business.
Boxes, okay.
Right. So her dad, seasoned businessman, he tells her, a slow smile, Missy. It shows you're really happy to see that person. It makes them feel special. Not just any smile, right? It's for them.
Makes sense. There's something about that delayed smile. It seems less automatic, more genuine.
You're taking a moment to really see them before, letting your smile just flood your face.
Like you're saying, this smile, it's just for you.
Exactly. Without saying it, it adds that intentionality.
Okay, what else?
Sticky eyes. That's the next technique. This one takes eye contact to a whole other level. Lowndes says, imagine your eyes are glued to the other person with sticky toffee.
Oh, okay.
And you only break away, reluctantly, when you absolutely have to.
I can see how that would create a connection. Like you feel seen, acknowledged.
Right, that's what we all want, right.
Absolutely. And there's a biological reason for it, too. Did you know that?
Right.
Studies show prolonged eye contact, it increases your heart rate.
Oh, wow.
Releases phenylethylamine, which is, that hormone linked to attraction and excitement.
Fascinating.
So there's actually like a chemical reaction happening.
It's not just in our heads, it's real. Lowndes tells this funny story about a seminar she was giving. This woman in the audience, totally captivated, eyes locked on Lowndes the whole time. Turns out, the woman was hearing impaired. She was reading Lowndes' lips.
Oh, wow. Great.
So even though, right, it wasn't about Lowndes' charisma or anything, it still proves the point.
Yeah. It's that intensity, that focus that makes the other person feel like, they matter.
The center of your world.
For that moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then there's epoxy eyes, but this one, she says, use with caution.
Epoxy eyes.
It involves a third person. Let's say you're talking to someone, but there's someone else nearby you want to make an impression on.
Right.
Epoxy eyes is about looking at that other person, focusing on them, even while someone else is talking to you.
So you're not even talking to them. Interesting.
It's like you're silently acknowledging them.
Checking their reaction.
Exactly. Investigators use it. HR people who are good at flirting, they use this technique.
Wow.
But, you got to be careful. It can be misinterpreted.
Right.
Lowndes suggests a softer approach. Bounce your gaze between the speaker and the person you're targeting. Show interest without that laser focus.
Got it. So it's about being subtle, finding that balance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, make them feel seen, not creeped out.
Okay, that makes sense.
So we've talked about the eyes, right? But then there's hang by your teeth. And this one's all about posture.
Posture. Okay.
It's that instant signal of confidence, success. Lowndes uses this great example, the Wallenda acrobats. Those high wire walkers.
It's lenses, yeah.
Even after they step off that wire, their posture stays perfect. Head high, shoulders back, total composure.
Projecting confidence.
And that's what people pick up on, subconsciously.
Makes sense.
Good posture, it's not just about looking good, it's about projecting capability. So she gives this visualization to help you get that Wallenda posture.
Yeah.
Imagine an iron jaw bit hanging from every doorway.
Every doorway. Okay.
As you walk through, you take a bite. and let it lift you up. Head high, shoulders back, lengthen your torso.
I like that. It's a good image.
It's simple, but it works.
Right.
You walk through doorways all day long.
Right. Yeah, all the time.
So it's like this constant, subtle reinforcement.
Building good habits.
Exactly.
So posture, it's just one piece, right? It's part of this whole thing, how we engage with people. And Lane's, she has this technique called, get this, the big baby pivot.
Okay, big baby pivot.
Yeah, it's about, think about how we are with babies, We naturally turn towards them, soften our faces, give them all our attention.
Right, total focus.
And she's saying, bring that same energy to your adult interactions.
That's interesting. Like you're making them feel special.
Yeah, like that baby, they're the center of your world for a minute. It's like nonverbal, but you're saying you're important to me.
I get it. It's funny though, right? We instinctively do it for babies, but
yeah,
not so much for grown-ups.
She tells this story about her friend Carla. At a party, lots of eligible bachelors around.
Okay.
Carla, she's giving them these polite smiles, but then this 5-year-old boy walks up to her, and she lights up, turns her whole body towards him, totally engaged. That's what Lowndes is talking about, that genuine warmth.
Bringing your best self to every interaction, not just saving it for people you know.
Yeah. So we've got the big baby pivot, and then there's hello, old friend.
Hello, old friend, okay.
This one's about visualization.
I like those.
Imagine the person you're meeting, but picture them as a long-lost friend, someone you're thrilled to see again.
I love that. It's like tapping into that feeling of joy, that excitement.
Right. You can't help but smile. Your body language opens up. You genuinely want to hear what they have to say.
Because you're happy to see them, even if you've never met before.
Exactly. It's like you're tricking your brain a little, but it works.
It's amazing how much our inner state, affects how we come across.
It's all connected. And Lowndes, she's seen this in action in her seminars. People who use this hello, old friend technique, they had more positive interactions, period.
Didn't even matter if they actually knew each other.
It proves the point. You approach someone as a friend, chances are they'll respond like a friend.
So we've got projecting confidence, warmth, approachability. But what about trust? How do we make sure people believe what we're saying?
Right. That's key. And this is where limit the fidget comes in.
Limit the fidget. That sounds familiar.
Even if you're not actually lying, fidgeting can make you seem nervous, shifty.
People pick up on that.
Yeah, like our brains are wired to spot those inconsistencies. You say one thing, but your body's saying something else. People trust the body language more.
Makes sense.
Lowndes talks about Nixon, the Nixon-Kennedy debates. Remember, on camera, Nixon was fidgeting like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And some people believe that cost him the election, even though on paper he had strong arguments.
The power of nonverbal communication.
Powerful stuff. So especially those important conversations, be mindful, Stay calm, collected. It makes a difference.
So we've covered smiles, eye contact, posture, fidgeting. What's next?
Now this one's fun. It's inspired by, get this, a horse.
A horse.
Clever Hans, the counting horse. Ever heard of him?
Vaguely, maybe.
Okay, so Clever Hans, this horse, everyone thought he could do math, understand language.
A genius horse.
Yeah, but it turns out he was picking up on these super subtle cues from the audience.
Oh, interesting.
Like tiny movements, almost invisible, but Hans could sense when to stop tapping his hoof to get the right answer.
Wow. So he wasn't actually doing math, he was reading people.
Exactly. And Lowndes uses Hans to make a point. Develop your own horse sense. Pay attention to those little cues your listener is giving you.
Like, are they leaning in? Are their eyes glazed over? What are their arms doing?
All those nonverbal signals, they tell you how your message is landing.
Like a secret window into their thought.
Exactly, so you can adjust on the fly, make sure you're connecting.
It's like active listening, but on a whole other level.
Right. And finally, to bring it all together, there's watch the scene before you make the scene.
Okay, that sounds theatrical.
It is, kind of. It's about visualization, like athletes do before a big game.
Visualize success.
Mentally rehearse the whole interaction. You're walking into the room using all these techniques we've talked about.
Flooding smile, sticky eyes, the whole 9 yards.
Feel that confidence. See yourself engaging, connecting. You're basically creating a mental blueprint for success.
Priming yourself to perform at your best.
Exactly. Lowndes tells the story about a marathon runner, injured, couldn't train properly, so he visualized the entire race, every step.
Wow.
And he ended up finishing the marathon. The power of the mind, right?
It really is amazing,
Yeah.
The power of our minds. Like, if you can see it, you can achieve it.
Yeah, it's like you're training your brain, creating these pathways to success. And this watch the scene technique, it's not just for like big presentations or anything.
Hey.
You can use it for everyday stuff too, going
Yeah.
into a meeting, a conversation, whatever. Just visualize yourself handling it smoothly, confidently.
It's like a little mental pep talk.
Exactly. So we've gone pretty deep here into this whole how to talk to anyone thing.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest takeaway?
For our listeners, you mean?
Yeah, like what's the core message?
I think Lowndes is saying anyone can become a great communicator. You don't have to be born with it, you know? It's
Right.
about understanding how it all works, practicing these techniques, being intentional.
It's not magic, it's a skill.
Exactly. And being present, genuinely interested in connecting with people. That's huge.
It's not just about tricks and manipulation, it's about like actually wanting to connect.
Yeah, being authentic. But of course, mastering this stuff, it takes time.
Right, it's a process.
Don't expect to become a smooth talker overnight.
Baby steps, right?
Yeah, pick 1 or 2 techniques, try them out, see what happens, observe people's reactions.
You'll start to notice those subtle shifts. It's pretty cool.
And here's something to think about, beyond all the techniques. Pay attention to nonverbal cues, not just in others, but in yourself too.
Oh, that's good. Like, what's your body language saying? Your tone of voice, your energy.
How's it affecting the people around you? It's like becoming more self-aware.
Yeah, it all ties in, doesn't it? To communication, to relationships.
It's an ongoing journey.
Yeah.
Honing those skills, being adaptable, and always trying to make those real connections.
Well said. So go out there, practice, and watch those relationships bloom.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep those conversations flowing.